There we go. Nah,
Hey,
yeah, there we
hey,
go.
hey, we did it.
Technical difficulties.
Technical
Technical
difficulties.
difficulties. Talk about these technical difficulties.
Kim, oh.
Ah,
Ah.
well,
We moved. We moved a completely different space.
we had to.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think we did good though. I think it was quick. You're quick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, it could be that the computer was not set up for 30 frames per second because I keep it at a 30 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the other guy was ready for that.
The other guy wasn't ready for that.
No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is this wine again?
Peanut Noir.
Peanut Noir.
Peanut Noir.
I love it.
What is it actually? I don't know.
I could go for some polka music right now.
Primrose Trail. Primrose Trail. Primra. Cha cha cha.
Cha-cha-cha-cha.
Cha 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 cha.
Oh man, could you go for some light polka music?
Are we doing polka music right now?
Oh, we can bring it up anyway. Have it ready. What's your poison for polka?
I don't usually partake in the
Oh.
polka.
'Tis the season.
So, polka poison. It's not pertinent to my person. You like that?
Let's do some polka classics. I wonder if too much of that's coming out, but that's okay.
Enjoy polka. Polka, polka.
Polka music for your pleasures. There we go. Ah, polka.
I feel like we're like at the fair or like getting ready to eat ice cream or like funneling into a circus of some kind.
There's definitely, yeah. Or there's a silly dance happening.
Silly dance,
A
yeah.
silly dance
Some
is
kind of
happening.
silly dance. Anywho, cheers.
Cheers. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's good.
It's wine.
I like it. Does it
think
pair
it's
with the tiny
interesting.
corn dog, though?
This is the big question. What do you think?
Do we do ASMR?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Tastes like a tiny corn dog with wine.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for.
That's exactly what I wanted.
Very good.
Oh my god, I can't believe we got just that. Anyway, welcome back. This is Friday Critical Mass.
Friday critical mass.
Yeah, we had a technical difficulty. We have to like fix up this whole setup, right?
Yeah. It's a shame because we worked really hard on that particular nook of the apartment. So, I'm sad.
We just need to like put money into some infrastructure.
Put money in infrastructure.
We got ourselves I mean, your laptop might do it. Mine is just like
Yeah,
on
we
its
can
last
try
leg.
mine next.
Yeah.
We can try mine next. Mine's like a 7-year-old, 8-year-old situation. We'll see. We'll figure out technical difficulties
Yeah.
for next week when we return to. I wanted to say midnight critical mass, but it is Friday critical
We
mass.
can just call it midnight critical.
No, that's way too close
All right.
to the incredible animated show Midnight Mass.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Midnight Mass. I haven't finished watching that show. Such a good show.
It's a good show.
I could not get. Oh, do I?
Do you?
I don't know.
Do you what?
Do I complain a little bit about my ex?
Oh, nice. Yes, I like first and foremost the airing of the grievances.
Just
The airing of the grievances.
areas of grievances. No, it's just that show I couldn't get like us to watch it at all. Like they were very like they didn't
Not
like the stream of
interested.
consciousness kind of talking crazy animation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that is really rough because if you're not into that, you just will not
It's
like
just not,
the show.
you're not gonna do that.
Like,
yeah.
at all.
That's
Yeah.
not that show ain't
So-
gonna happen.
Right. It's really good. Michael and I watched it while I was moving out of her house, and that was when we had our smell party. So we had the weird not ethereal, but like just like strangeness of the show, but also like we were doing something really kind of fucking weird where we just like took samples of perfume and put them on different edges of like pieces of paper and on our skin and let them sit because scent always, especially perfume, has an initial scent, and then as it wears the scent changes. So we had we only had 5 or 6 smells.
Yeah.
But we ended up having to sample them over and over again. So we would smell them, smell coffee to clear the palate, and then I would love to do something like that again. Smell is very important to me. It was nice, but yeah, just having the weirdness on the TV versus
So
and then
one
us.
thing Twitch hasn't gotten right is relaying
It's
streaming
smell-o-vision,
smell.
right? I do smell pretty good right now too, so you're missing out.
I smell horrible.
You smell fine.
I smell like the devil.
I don't know. I feel like the devil would have to smell kind of good.
I haven't showered for 2 days.
Okay, regardless, I'm not. You smell fine.
All right.
You smell fine.
I can lift some weights real quick.
Would that make you smell better?
No,
Why would you do it?
it's impressive.
To be impressive.
To be impressive.
No, I think the devil would have to smell pretty good. He
Oh,
needs
yeah.
to be seductive in some ways, right?
Well, I mean, there's some sulfur has its charm.
Sulfur has its charm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sure.
I wrote notes.
Yeah, let's get
For
to
the
the bullets.
Oh, let's talk about our last weekend.
Okay, last weekend. Last weekend was my first experience at the NorCal Ren Fair in
Casa de Fruta.
well, it's actually in Hollister. Is
Yeah.
that not true?
Well, yes.
Okay, so it's in Hollister, adjacent or inside of this fucking tourist trap, like pit stop.
It's a great tourist trap.
thing.
I
Oh,
love
no,
it.
I didn't say it was bad. It was like it's sort of just an off the freeway thing that is just started off as a fruit stand and then grew from there.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's Casa de Fruta next to Casa de Restaurant and Casa de Wine
And deli.
and Casa de Choo Choo,
Casa de Choo Choo.
which is a small train that tiny humans can ride
Yeah.
for fun.
Adults can ride on it too.
Oh, can they?
Yeah.
And we didn't do that.
No.
Oh, I heard it's haunted anyway.
Yeah. Spooky choo choo.
Spooky choo choo. Yeah, so it was my first time, and it was Luke's 50 millionth time. How many times?
I've been there a lot. The ride is approved by and for Luke's. Indeed. Thank you very much. Michael just commented. You thought I was just talking to myself there for a
I
second.
really did. Hello, Michael. Good even to you, friend.
But yeah, no, this was your first time. This was the first time I did it where I wasn't completely plastered at the end.
And this was like not for lack of trying, which is sort of
No,
the
yeah.
surprising thing, because we had a bottle of rum, just a bottle of rum. I mean, you made it very delicious, but as far as alcohol content, it was a bottle of rum that 4 or 5 people like killed half of in one night.
Yeah, about.
Plus beer, plus I brought a box of wine that was gifted to me, so I was also nibbling on that. I mean, we drank a lot of booze, I think what I'm getting at. It was a lot, and
You know what happened?
What's that?
We didn't piss the tent.
We didn't piss the tent. All right. So
I don't know how much we want to unveil here, but
I realize that you're there with your studies, doing the studying, doing the homeworks, as you should as a good student. However, I have to tell you about something we like to call Pissgate.
well, how much do we tell? I also like. Part of me wants to like tell all, but the other part of me is like, am I profiteering off someone's misery?
Are we making money?
No.
Then let's tell everything.
All right. As long as Andrew doesn't give me shit about it later.
Well, maybe we can be a little bit more
Just like someone.
vague.
Yeah.
Someone who was there in the campular area. Go ahead.
Piss the tent.
Piss the tent. I
And,
mean, that's
well,
kind of
well,
the long and the short of it. Although
It's not
there
so
is
much
more.
that they pissed the tent. It's like we heard the aftermath of the pissing, which woke us up at 3 a.m. And that was, and then the next morning it was just like, there's a lot of paper towels outside that tent.
Well, yeah, I think that perhaps if we could truncate the story, for the sake of privacy, I think that we could possibly simply say that Brass seems cool. He seemed cool. Everything seemed cool. And then everything was pretty much not cool.
Nope.
Once Brass got in the tent. And aside from the pee, it was just just bad news.
Tent life changes people.
Tent life changes people.
Yeah, that's why we go camping, is to experience a little bit of the animal in us. And his animal was pissing inside his home.
Pissing inside his home.
He's like a baby kitten.
I don't think animal pisses. Well, I guess there are some animals that piss inside their homes.
Baby kittens. They don't know better.
I would not compare this human being, this grown
Like
adult
a baby?
man. That's what kitchen sinks are for, because we're civilized.
I always bring my own kitchen sink
100%.
every time I go camping. But yeah, there was some piss in some tent, and I have my theory of how it got spread, like, because we had theories about
Well, okay. So let's roll
Yeah.
it back just a tiny little
Roll it
bit.
back.
All right. So we don't know these people too well, and we are trying to, like, in some ways protect their privacy. So let's no details, but what we heard was two people, one of the couple, trying to I think was trying to wake up the partner to say that partner had pissed the tent.
Yeah.
Or pissed in the tent. I think pissed in the tent is what I heard, which is
Yeah.
like, the language is important.
Yeah.
The language is important. Because
We watch a lawyer show now.
Because peeing the tent implies peeing the bed, implies not leaving the sleeping bag.
Yeah.
I believe she said you pissed in the tent.
So I have a theory here.
So here's the theory.
Okay, so you might say, "Oh, this guy pissed the sleeping bag, pissed wherever they're sleeping." But again, the language doesn't support that.
Thank you.
What we do see the next morning, what's outside the tent? Ton of paper towels.
Right.
They took a bunch of paper towels. Definitely try to sop up some pee-pee. Here's another thing. I'm willing to think that this person stood up and was going to unzip a thing and pee. And they got out half-cocked. Literally, penises flying. And they're too drunk to actually unzip it. So I have two thoughts. So one is that they got too drunk to unzip, but they're already going. And like at some point you just commit and you just go in the corner.
I mean, depending on how plastered you are.
Yeah. The other thing I think was that the possibility that the tent had a mesh lining and a normal lining. So they opened up the mesh lining and were going to pee outside the tent. So they opened one and just didn't open the other and just pissed inside. See, when if we can have a science experiment, but if you hit the water, it bounces back in. If you hit the wall,
That's physics. That's physics.
I said it right.
If water hits the wall, it bounces back in.
Bounces back. Yeah.
It's right back inside
Right
the
back.
tent.
Yeah.
No, I won't say that. But but yes, I think that we can assume, because I believe that is assuming the best of a drunk person, is that they legitimately tried to unzip the tent and simply go outside.
If anything, people who are drunk try too much.
You think so?
His
that's
best
not-
bet. His best bet would have been to not do anything.
It would have been better to pee in the sleeping bag.
No, just not pee.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. But we're here in this reality. We have to
Yeah.
accept reality as it is given to us and not rail against it. That is things I learned in therapy. So yes, I think that your analysis seems correct and correct to me. I definitely initially thought that I feel like I can, Michael. Thank you. But I initially thought that Bruh got up, went to a corner of the tent, sort of just in like a haze of drunkardness,
Yeah.
and just peed the tent because they thought that they were somewhere else. Which, I mean, like, that happens. I'm sure that happens. I can't imagine it didn't happen at Burning Man at least one time.
I think in my life trying to think of the times I pissed myself. And one time was in Berlin. And I pissed myself a little bit, but then managed to get my wiener out and pissed on a wall. But it was definitely in a bright lit place. Thank God it was like 4 in the morning. There was just like no one there. But I was very, very drunk. The other time I remember, and this was really dire, I noticed, was that for a while there, when I was losing a lot of weight, when I was about 160 pounds, 58 or something like that, I'd be at work, I'd drink, have a drink of poo, usually a glass of wine, and then I'd bike home or walk home. But by the time I always got to my door, I had to pee. And it was just like rushing to get the key out. Mm-hmm. So there was one time where I had maybe one too many, but I remember clearly like getting to the front door and like I can't get the door open and I just start pissing. And I'm just like, and I was wearing black pants, so just like, fuck it, just keep going. I'm not gonna bring this. I just go. So I just stood
like,
there with like my bike on my shoulder.
Just sort of sink into it.
On the 6th floor, we had a balcony, so it was like fine. But I was just like, fine. This is me tonight. Then I pissed myself. Then I got in the house, took off my clothes, switched into my comfy pants, and went back into the bathroom and peed some more. I don't know what.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I think it's a lot of pee that day. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of pee in there.
But that was a little bit of the weekend. I mean, that was just the start of it.
Yeah, that really was like just the beginning. That was the Friday night.
And we found out we got some hard truths about the Ren Fair. I think.
Some hard truths about the Ren Fair.
It's hard to hit on anybody at the Ren Fair.
Oh, it's hard to hit on anybody at the Ren Fair. Yes. I think that the initial read that you had, and I think you brought this up on Saturday. On Saturday, we actually go inside the fair. We get there at 11 o'clock in the morning. We're early. We look great, I think. Right.
I get confused for someone who works the fair.
Yeah, he was wearing the wrong colors. It was
imagine great. You go to your favorite carnival and everyone thinks you are supposed to operate one of the rides.
He got a lot of attention for looking like a Queen's Guard. It was fun. Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Yeah,
it was nice interaction. But eventually, it was a moment where you did. It was early on that you said, "Listen, it's hard to discern here, like the rightists from the leftist, basically. You can't really tell a progressive or a..."
Yeah, first and foremost, you cannot, at a Renaissance... There was someone who wrote an article a few years ago about how the right was infiltrating the Renaissance Fair, and that's a fucking joke because the right has always been at the Renaissance Fair. But what's really weird is, so when it comes to people visiting the Renaissance Fair, you think of a lot of Anglophiles, which obviously leans more to, right is conservative and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's totally true. What's interesting, though, is that people who work the Ren Fair, the gamut is more libertarian to conservative Burning Man.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, you'll still get, there's still weirdos who work the Ren Fair. Easy peasy. And there's progressives who work the Ren Fair. Easy peasy. But there's also, a lot of, libertarians, oh, yeah, no, this is I do this, and this is, like it's hard to gauge. You can't see someone's colors right on them,
Right.
which is good. I think expose yourself, and they're also getting exposed as well. So I mean, like that's good. But
I sort of had this epiphany as you were speaking that like the way that a Ren Fair recreates like class systems would be very, very appealing to anyone into authoritarianism. Like
oh man, there was an awkward moment where I was at I used to be part of this group. It wasn't Society of Creative Anachronism, though the SCA is cool and does its own thing. It was people it came from a group that specifically did contra dancing, so like doing ballroom dances and like those big Mr. Fezziwig's ball and Christmas Carol kind of stuff. And I remember getting into an argument that I tried to got myself into as a Facebook argument, but it was basically about the proper grammar and how to actually speak when you're at work. Basically, no slang. Like it turned into this things like, oh, like you guys like loved like proper Queen's English. And it's like, well, yeah. It's like, well, that's ridiculous. And so it was turned into a whole grammar thing and syntax thing about like how you're supposed to like. Do you say the 5, or do you say take 5 somewhere, or do you take the 5 somewhere? It's like, well, that doesn't matter. It's like, no, it's proper. Like if it's and then going into like, well, no, like grammatically it's supposed to be this. Like everyone who does it this way is incorrect. It's like, no, it's all made up.
it's all made up.
So it's a lot of that, and there was a whole thing about talking about politics, and someone's like, I really wish we one person was in particular was like, we should still have a monarchy, that we wouldn't have all the problems we have. And it's like,
bro,
like, come on, dude.
don't. How? I mean, no. I think that okay. So getting really, really deep into this, I also think that oh, hi Cal. Hi, Cal.
You're a baby. I'm gonna kick your ass.
That's not.
I'm a full-on adult wearing this. I can take you down.
You can't say that like with
Hmm?
this. No, like this is the internet.
I'm canceled.
You can't do that.
I can feel my hand disappearing.
No, hi Cal, you're a baby. I'm gonna kick your ass. It's really just not. It ain't it.
I get marked like, this guy we're shutting him down for bullying. And the only answer I could say is, yeah.
I wonder, I think to finish up maybe this whole because this is a tangent that came from point number 1, which is it's impossible to hit on anyone at Ren Fair. but I wonder about the overlap of the monarch happy people who love the monarchy, and monotheistic people,
So I think that's the funny thing is like, I think funny enough, the people who work the Ren Fair are probably pretty solidly like they keep their religion close to their chest. And their politics, I imagine, are more like democratic. They're not about like the Queen.
I meant more generally, but please keep going. Yeah.
But like, I think there's a lot of people who go. There's probably a few people who go who think like, no, there should be like one set of people who actually run things. And I think there's probably a racial component somewhere in there. But like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It always comes back to that. Even if you think that it's not racially driven, it always fucking is. Yeah.
And but I think that's all right. So that's where we're getting. I think is the funny and weird thing about the Renaissance Fair is that strange bedfellows the entire time you're there, to the point where it's like, oh wait, this is strange bedfellows. I have no idea anyone's view on anything here, except when someone comes in with like a "Let's Go Brandon" shirt or something like that.
Did you see any "Let's Go Brandon" shirts?
No.
Yeah.
I saw a few like police officer Punisher shirts.
Oh well, and that's not quite the same thing, but that's also very stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid in the same way, I would say.
But it's impossible also to hit on people, and this is the fun part, because we don't know who's there to actually hit on.
Yes.
There's a whole other layer, because like Ren fairs are known to be like a little lascivious, right? And a little bit of like I call it poor man's Burning Man. So there's the people who are working the fair are definitely hooking up. The people who are going to the fair to enjoy it are not really hooking up. But you kind of want to. And everyone's making dirty jokes. It's really hard, like, wait, at what point, like, when do we seal the deal?
Yeah, long story short, I fell in, like, small amounts of love with this bartender.
Yeah.
Who did this weird, like, BDSM thing regarding our drink. She'll tip it for you, like, into your mouth hole, and then say dirty things as she does it.
Yeah.
And I was enamored. Yes, definitely. But yeah, it couldn't be. It just simply could not be.
But then we had banter, though, because we started talking about D&D for a little bit, because it was early in the day.
I know that we had. I know it was rough. We could have maybe. We could have maybe. Yeah. I don't really have any regrets. I think that was not really gonna go anywhere, even if we pursued it. But
I think next year, if we do Casa Day or if we do any of the other Renaissance fairs, we should, like, and if we get there early, we run to the bars. Like, here's the thing: is there a code that means, like, I'm really hitting on you?
Oh, that's a good idea.
You know, because they might actually have a system in place.
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Or like a thing. Is there something I tie around my leg?
Yeah, get there like first, like the crack,
Learn the
crack
rules.
opening, and figure that out. That's write that down.
All right,
Write that
I'll
down.
write that down.
We're definitely collecting ways to hit on people in public situations.
Ren Fair code.
Secret Ren Fair code. Coitus.
Nice.
But besides that, it was a lovely time was had by all. I spent. Oh, that's right.
That you're probably a Ren Fair brat, maybe. I don't know.
Did you? Yeah, I never got the impression that you actually attended fair. Just that your mom and it weirdly.
There we go.
Hey. Oh, you were.
Mm-hmm. Which is fun because that means that your mom, if your mom was working the Renaissance Fair, that's meant it was in Northern California, but it was north of Hollister, which means she was there at the same time that Leonard Lake was there, famed serial killer.
Oh.
Leonard Lake and Charles
Wow.
Ng. Charles Ng is still in prison. We can go visit him.
That's not.
So if you ever saw a goat with one horn, that was Leonard Lake. Not the goat. The guy who operated the goat. Boobies. Anyway.
I was just gonna let it pass.
No.
But yes, there's feeding happening now.
Feeding. Well, I'm eating
Get it.
all
Get
these
at it.
sausages.
Get at it. Do it.
And I think this segues perfectly into our next thing. Romance.
Romance.
We had a romantic business meeting.
We had a romantic business meeting on Sunday.
I like it because we got the nitty gritty stuff out of the way.
Operating the goat.
Operating goat. I don't know. What he didn't. The thing was is that
Driving the goat.
this was not Charles Ng's goat. It was. Wait, not Charles Ng. Leonard Lake's. It was not Leonard Lake's goat. It was his neighbor's goat. And so his neighbor had this goat with one horn, and he's like, "Hey, can I bring that goat to this Renaissance fair? Charge people $1 to see the unicorn because it had one horn." And so he would bring this goat to the Renaissance fair, Leonard Lake. And I have a very awkward story about this, where I was talking to one of the old guys I used to work with at Anchor, and he used to be the beer provider, and he would set up all the tap lines at the Renaissance fair. And I asked him, like, "Hey, you were at the Renaissance fair during this time?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Did you know a guy named Leonard Lake?" And he did this thing. "Yeah." It's like, you knew him? It's like, "Yeah. He killed 2 of my friends."
Oh my god.
And I was like, I'm not gonna ask any more questions. I'm just gonna walk away. So yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I should send that to the boys of last podcast.
That you were
I knew someone tangentially connected.
right, you met a guy one time.
Well,
yeah.
I worked with him quite a bit. He was a good guy, Bob Brewer.
So you were 3 degrees away.
1
then?
degree.
1 degree?
Oh, 2 degrees.
2 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 degrees away. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah. Anyway, finding romance.
Finding romance.
Don't kill women.
It's a really good first step, is just don't kill them. Hurting them is also just bad. I mean, the bar is pretty low.
And when I say women, I don't just mean women. I also mean everybody.
Basically everyone, right?
Just
yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't kill people. I mean, all I'm saying is, like, if you are a mask presenting or like an AMAB person, the bar is on the floor. Just don't hurt them.
Just don't.
Just don't. Yeah, just don't
Just don't.
hurt people. For eating?
That's different.
For eating?
You're talking about something else completely.
I mean, listen, there has to be standards in place for that, because we are talking about Elon Musk and only Elon Musk, right? Are we not?
I don't want to eat Elon Musk. It looks fucking gross.
I mean, we each get a bite. It's like 1,000 people. Don't make faces. Finish your Elon Musk.
I don't want to eat. I want to eat Elon Musk. Gross.
He probably is pretty fucking gross.
I'm gonna scoot closer to you, so I'm more in frame.
Okay.
There we go. Romance.
Romance.
We had a romantic business meeting. What is romantic business meeting?
A romantic business meeting is a monthly gathering in which all peoples in a polycule sit down. I mean, we have done it famously with food and drink. I think that that's important for romantic business. But I think any kind of meeting works.
Oh yeah.
So you sit down with the polycule and you simply talk about the state of the relationship or relationships over the past 4 weeks. So yeah, there are things that happen during this business meeting, including airing of the grievances. Including scheduling.
Schedule.
Including partner improvement points.
PIP.
And what am I skipping?
And old business, new business.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the format is pretty standard for any any meeting in which you are trying to gather a lot of people and say things fairly.
But this was a fun one because we got some nitty gritty things out of the way and squared away. It makes me fun to get nitty gritty stuff out of the way.
It was fun for you. The gritty stuff was fun.
Did you have fun with the gritty stuff?
I mean, it was nice.
It was interesting.
I thought it was interesting. No. No, it was good. It was good because at the end of this particular business meeting, we decided that we were ready to date.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and it wasn't like we were not ready. Like,
oh, hold on.
We've
been dating for ages.
Yeah,
we live together.
Yeah.
But like,
this is my nesting partner.
Yes.
But we have not. It's and again, like, it's not like we weren't trying. I mean, like, sort of peripherally, sort of like putting feelers out. But I definitely felt comfortable enough to really, in earnest, decide to try and see other people. So yeah.
Problem is that we're the only polyamorous people in the village.
The only polyamorous people in the village. Imagine getting on a bus. Yeah. So we are polyamorous people who pass for monogamous very easily.
Yep. But no, it was fun. I love the romantic business meetings.
Romantic business meetings are the highlight of the month. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's I'm glad we keep them. And I mean, as we go forward, there are more to say. There's more to say at a romantic business meeting. I am just absolutely over the moon at the thought of when there is a third person to bring into a romantic business meeting and we get to introduce them to, like, this is this format. You have to wear business. You have to do blazers. We have to do ties. We have to do Wall Street.
Dow Jones.
NASDAQ.
Dow Jones. Wall Street Journal.
To do all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be pretty exciting whenever that happens. I definitely have a problem with now that I feel comfortable doing something. It's like, why am I not just doing it? So I think I definitely rushed my interactions this week.
Yeah, and like I just don't know how to do it. I just don't know how to do it.
Can we see? Can you? I mean,
Yeah,
again, we're talking about privacy, but Luke is under the impression that the person he's speaking to on OkCupid.
I got them all.
I know you got them all, but which one? Is it anyone in particular, or are there multiple profiles?
I have what?
Are there multiple profiles that you believe are fake?
Oh no, I have one that definitely feels fake.
Okay,
Yeah.
Is that which one is on that on?
That's on the Tinder.
It's on the Tinder. Okay, so
Which I got for Ren Fair. It's like Ren Fair freaking.
Ren Fair freaking. Yeah, Luke is under the impression that this is a fake profile.
I did ask a real question, but like, here, should I do a call response? Is that what we're doing? Not call response. Read it out. It's like, so this person's profile, they asked like, what's one song you'd want?
Did you match with She-Hulk?
Man, that
would be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. She-Hulk as my meta? Like, could it get any cooler than that? I'd be so excited.
Like, whenever there's someone super buff on here, I usually swipe. As long as they don't look like a douchebag, like if it's a buff lady.
Buff lady, a buff femme person. Yeah.
Someone tall to call to
climb. Yes. We need a tree to climb.
No, it's just that this person, all right, here, let me show you the photos. They look fake. All right. I mean, they're all the same person, but they're kind of like, wait a minute. That's out of focus. Like, that's pixelated. Like, everything is a little pixelated. And it's just like, just blurry enough that it doesn't work.
I mean, so if you are taking photographs that other people have taken of you and you're trying to cut people out of the frame, that's what that looks like to me.
Sure.
Is it's going to get a little pixelated. And if those are the ones that she feels comfortable in, then
Correct.
Like it makes perfect sense to
Totally.
me. All right? I think they look fine.
All right, so
They look fine.
if you had to listen to one song for the rest of your life, what would it be? All right. So I say, basically, that not really sure, but it would be a sing along. It's like what? Haha, a sea shanty, Nelson's Blood, Old Maui, something like that. What about you? And they send me a song on the Spotify. That is the song that plays in the opening of Portlandia, and that's when I became suspect. Because I asked.
I don't even remember which song played at the beginning of Portlandia. Michael, do you know?
And by then it's like, isn't that song that plays as the theme for Portlandia? Anything particular about that song, or just the vibe? Like asking why they like that song so much. The vibe, comma, beat and lyrics.
So the whole thing.
And I was like, okay, I didn't like that. I don't trust that. But nothing about, like, but what about it, though? I guess it's just the vibe. I don't know. I'm just having fun pretending this is a fake person.
It seems like a perfectly, I mean, like, it seems like perfectly normal, like interaction. The dream of the 90s
is alive
inside.
And then there's Ren Fair Lady, which I haven't heard back from in a while. But yeah, they put a thing in their nose. Boom.
That's cool.
Yeah. Brush in the nose.
She seems cool.
Never gonna happen.
Not with that attitude.
Always
like
a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Like someone speaks to you for more than like 3 messages, and you're like definitely a bot.
Definitely
like,
a bot.
I think you got to be a little bit more, just I mean, open to the process first of all. I mean, it's really awkward to start and maintain conversations on those apps, like for sure.
Oh, what was it? I'll show you the one that because here, show you my field real quick. You ready?
This is not on the bullets. What
This is not on the bullets.
This is part of romance.
No. I'm going to show you something I'm scared of.
You just show me something I'm scared of. Is it a door that seems to go to nowhere?
No.
Is it a car wash?
So I didn't.
Is it a animatronic
Okay.
mouse
Look,
sells me pizza?
This is our conversation from back in the day, right?
I remember that.
See all these? I didn't know how the app worked. I didn't know we matched with all the. So I've never messaged these people.
Oh.
And this
Wait, was I the only one that messaged you on that app?
That's when I learned how to do it. So like I'm looking at this like, what? Oh fuck! And there's like, now it's too late. It's too late to like message these people. Like I can't do that now.
Why not? Just
It's
go
too
for
late.
it. No.
Too late.
Just say hi.
One's
you
in
should do
Portland.
it.
One's in Portland. So I'm not gonna do that.
You legitimately didn't know how it worked.
I didn't know how that worked. Look,
can see
I'm a
our
simple man.
conversation.
I wear overalls to be fancy.
Oh, dude. Okay, so there is something that I saw today about spit that I didn't like, having to do with dating. Actually,
Whoa.
super quick because I hate it. Yeah, I'm the winner.
Yeah.
I am the winner. Absolutely.
They probably don't know how it works either. I didn't even think about that.
So I saw a ting tong that in which a woman was like, I am new to non-monogamy and I'm starting to date again after 10 years, and I want to talk about something that seems to be a problem. I've had 3 men spit in my mouth without permission. Oh yeah, the lag is like it's impossible. You might refresh, but it's never gonna be perfect.
Have you tried
I'm
clearing
sorry.
your cache? Could you pull an HAR file for
Stop
me?
it, IT guy. Cut it out. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I'm sorry. I have to do the same thing when I'm in somebody else's chat room. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so the men are spitting in women's mouth without permission. Non-consensual spitting. And I was really very much thinking, I just got really gung-ho about getting into the scene. I've never really been in the dating scene before. Getting in the dating scene, I don't know how to properly utilize cash. I don't either.
All right. What? No.
I don't either. I don't either.
It's our show.
Yeah, so and I saw that TikTok about the spitting in the mouth, and I thought I will never date again or ever.
Well, I had a friend who really embraced their sexuality. I think after they became sober, so it was kind of fun because they went from being a drunk to being a dominatrix.
Nice.
They was saying dominatrix is improper because they're gender neutral. So their whole thing is that they used to get paid to be a dom, but they always said that they like whenever they go see clients, and it's like, and the client would be like, "Yes, mistress," like, "No, you call me daddy," and it would really like mess with them. It's like, that's pretty fucking good, good job. But some reason right after, super into spitting into mouths. I don't know. I don't know.
So that what I said when I was like thinking, when I told you about this, is like I can't deal. I would not be able to deal with someone doing that without permission. And I think even the question would make me want to puke a little bit. Like if someone was like, "Hey, girl, could I just like hock a loogie?"
Well, no, that hockey loo is different than just having enough saliva to.
I don't even want to. Ugh.
Pour your wine. Do you want wine?
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm good.
So I don't know how to use the app. That's the problem.
Just message people.
I don't know. Okay.
I mean, you have literally nothing to lose. They're all NPCs. I mean, you saying, "Oh, this is definitely a bot," is kind of like, yeah, they're not. None of them are real.
None of them are real. That's true.
None of them are real until you meet them in person. I talked to one person on the phone
Yeah.
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of my update as far as like romance, is that I have been talking to this person.
Mm-hmm.
And we hit it off, I
Mhm,
think. We talked a lot about Star Trek, but also about just like movies and
The classics.
gender. I mean, like, and a lot of like low-key vulnerable things too. So it wasn't just like, "Hey, what's your favorite movie? I like this anime." It was a lot more just like, hey, no, like this is sort of like talking about neurodivergency a whole lot, and so I felt vulnerable enough. She says, "You can do it, Luke. I had an entire relationship with a bot." Did I show you this conversation?
All I know is that Michael keeps trying to take over our stream.
We'll have to have Michael as a guest.
Look, they got a kid covering up a boob. Just show it. Like, people are going to watch it on OnlyFans. You want to have your own thing, maybe get your own setup.
Yeah, Michael's thinking about that. Or me, I should... Miko's leaving. Yes, you should. Yes, we do want you. You should be a special guest on our special Friday night stream.
Yeah.
Swim.
Actually, we can do it. We can set it up where like they can turn on their webcam on Discord.
Yeah.
We can have the whole thing work.
No, I think that
I mean, not right at this moment.
probably needs more notice.
Yeah. No, I mean like we can set it so there's no lag, so we're on the same.
Oh yeah.
That's how it used to do my my Marvel recap show.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever watch my Marvel recap show? Mm-mm. That's probably good.
It's probably good.
It definitely got better. It started out as a horrible thing. It was just janky, and then I got to where it was like actually running properly, and I was really happy with it. And then everyone got tired of watching TV because we're just like, all right, we just finished Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Right.
Okay. I could probably get back into it again, but like it does mean you are committed to like watching a show and then at the end of the week like talking about it.
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
I feel like I do that.
That's true. What show? Well, no, we can't do... I think we can't do She-Hulk right now because that's happening.
Well, why not?
Because we're so far behind. Not far behind. Like, we are, like, behind the like, we are...
Right, so we would have to... get something that is just coming out and say,
Basically.
we are going to recap this as it is coming out.
Yes.
So to anticipate a show and then do the thing.
Which right now would be Secret Wars.
What's that?
It's about Nick Fury and the Skrulls.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know anything about this, so like Luke's like, you know, the Skrulls. Yes. Skrulls.
Oh wait, did you ever watch Captain Marvel? No, huh? Yeah. That's why. That's part of why it's going over your head.
You and Michael should just like get together and do all of this stuff.
It would be a nightmare.
And I get to watch, or I get to be in the room and I get to like ask pertinent questions.
I'd have to get two sentences in and then have to wrangle Michael back into the like focus. We're talking about this.
You do have to do that with me. Or we could do what the Interview with the Vampire series.
That's going on
that
right
just came
now.
Out. Yeah.
I think that's pretty far in, but that's gonna go forever probably.
Michael says it would be a nightmare.
Yeah. But that's what makes it good content.
I know. Yeah, I think that chaotic stuff is good. I think that works.
Yeah.
But yes. So
they're all fake.
they're not.
None
all
of them
fake.
are real.
Stop.
They're all demons.
Stop.
And I just have to like reach out to a demon.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if that's how you want to think of it, reach out to a demon. Reach out. Have you reached out to a demon today?
No.
If you feel like, and this is something that like I am going to start doing, I think. If you feel like you really kind of like want to reach out to a demon, don't really know like how to figure out like how to do it or what to say or anything, do one per day.
One demon per day.
One demon per day. And if you're on the apps, reply to one person per day. Not the same time. Just decide to go on the apps once, send a message, close it, and see what happens. I started doing that with that with the person that I was the Ren Fair individual that I was talking to for a while, and now it's sort of like we wait a few days, but still a healthy back and forth, and there's no pressure, right? Yeah, that's my advice out of like from like doing this for no time. I have done this for no time, and have been like glowingly successful one time.
Look, I glow.
It was first try.
First try.
But yeah,
The moon was right.
the moon was right. But yes, I had a tentative date. The person with whom I made the date canceled because it was tentative. It wasn't even really canceling, right? For like very in good reasons, and said that they want to keep talking but don't know when this is gonna be a thing, basically. Which is all like very good. Like that's like they were very much like, I do not want to discourage you. The last thing I want to do is discourage you, but like this. I'm like, oh yeah, that's. And one of the things, I don't know if I told you about this, is that they have recently had one of their partners, one of the people they were seeing, become their partner.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, well, dummy me, like, this is just bad timing. Because, like, you want to be around that person all the time. That's like, you're in new relationship energy. Like, why would you have, like, a single second for me?
Yeah.
So it's kind of them to sort of, decide to text me back and stuff like that. So that's where we are.
I'm just remembering an SNL sketch, but it's very like it's the one where it's Chris Elliott, and it's all these people who don't understand bad news. Not saying there's bad news, but I just remembered like I don't know if I even want to say it anymore. All right.
Go.
So one person says like, oh, like how'd the job interview go? It's like, I did not get the job. It's like, no, I went in, I did my interview, but they're gonna keep me on file. And one person was had a girlfriend, and they said like, so how's everything with Chandra? I was like, oh, we actually broke up. It's like, oh no, hey, well, we had a good run, but you know what she said at the end? It's like, what's that? We should stay friends. And honestly, that's what I'm here for. It's the friendship.
So you're saying
I'm not...
that this person, who I definitely barely know, like, that we hit it off over a couple weeks in text messages, like, that I should feel bad that they're keeping me on the back burner. I do not mind being on the back burner because I got my own fucking front burners.
Back burners are great. That's where I put the things that just need to stay warm because they are done. They're perfect. Just need to stay back there.
Exactly. Just stay back here. It's like, whatever. Yeah, and the great thing about, like, being polyamorous is it's not like I'm gonna get, like, taken by somebody else, and neither are they. Like,
man.
Like, we fall into, like, a thing that'll, when it's better timing, then we do.
That reminds me, there was a movie that was basically Taken, but it was a polyamorous. It was a three-way. It was a throuple. It was like some hot chick and like two muscly dudes with tattoos.
I remember this movie. What was this called?
I don't remember.
Yeah. I actually remember like thinking like, oh my god, they're like, oh my god, stop.
Hold on, like we're in the middle of telling a story.
Stop. That person was definitely maybe a
cop.
fucking cop.
All constables are bastards. That's where I learned that.
Constables are bastards.
Which is what I get to say when we go to the Dickens Fair.
All constables are bastards.
All constables are bastards. But that's romance.
I think that sums up romance. I think romance is
Yeah.
pretty well taken care of. Yeah. Do you want to come with us to Dickens Fair?
Like and subscribe if you'd like to go to Dickens Fair.
I think there's only the one person in there, which is why I'm saying that.
Oh, no, there might be more.
Oh.
I mean, some of those are probably just bots. But yeah.
That's not nothing.
Those are real people.
Well, I mean, they're real. We assume real until
I have to
proven otherwise.
Until I have to
right?
send them a message and
you have to be vulnerable with them.
Like, what's your favorite movie? I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Fuck. Piss. Ass. Piss in my ass. God damn it. Ah.
Oh.
Very
Also
confused.
a bot. Also a bot. All right, so next, yeah, we let's move from romance to next thing.
Next thing is it's 31 for 31. We are very far behind,
We're
but
super far behind.
we watched 3 horror movies. We watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Barbarian, and Psycho Gorman.
Yes.
And specifically watched Psycho Gorman because we watched the last episode of She-Hulk, which ends very rough.
I was very in the best way possible. It wasn't that I was dissatisfied with the episode. I thought the episode was really well put together. I mean, and that show is just fantastically put together all around. But I was angry in the way that they were intending me to be angry. Anyway, it doesn't. We don't need to go into it. I was miffed. I was like miffed. I was yelling. I think I yelled a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we watched Psycho Gorman, and it did help. It was good. Good recommendation.
So let's start at the beginning.
Okay, yes.
This is your first time seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
First time watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Growing up, I watched that movie several times on repeat. I had a poster, and I even had a Texas Chainsaw Massacre wallet with the chain.
Oh, with the chain!
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I don't know why I love that movie so much. But then there was like, and then what do you think of it? Because I can go into like some theories I have why I liked it so much.
It was just about half an hour worth of movie spread across an hour and a half. With a bunch of dialogue containing things that people don't say to each other ever.
The original. We
watched the original. The other one's in the 2000s, right?
There's one in the 90s. No, there's one in the 80s. There's 3 that are in not the 2000s.
Okay.
I think. So there was a sequel that came out in the 80s that was super jokey funny.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like Evil Dead to Evil Dead 2.
Right, but there was a true remake in like 2007
yes, there was a remake. But then there was also Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Next Generation, which had your boy All Right in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first time seeing the original. Again, full of characters that nobody should like, doing things that are stupid. I mean, like I said, when we were done, I said, oh well, I mean, it's nice to really see where the tropes are coming from, which is sort of I had a good time watching Silence of the Lambs for the first time, but I watched that later into my adult life, and it was interesting because I was like, I feel like I've already seen this movie.
Yeah.
Like, and it was almost one of those things where I'm watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like I've definitely seen this movie before because all other movies kind of look like it. But it was interesting that it was screamy. I think it was screamy.
Lots of screaming.
So much screaming. And artsy, where it's like, no, not just the close-up. Can you get a close-up of her eyeball?
Yeah.
And it was sort of interesting because, like, I understood, that on a surface level that I should be frightened of these people, but I could never actually really get there. So,
keep going unless you have anything else. What's...
Okay. So it was an interesting situation, and I think that, I mean, obviously context is very important, and me watching in 2022 is very different than anyone watching in 1974. I'm gonna go with 1974.
Yeah.
Alex. It's gonna be a completely different experience. I mean, I had the same kind of feeling watching Rosemary's Baby in like 2005.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just like, it is definitely a different kind of movie for a different kind of time. 1974.
Nice.
Yeah. But so it's hard for me to say like I can't speak to the quality of movie or even really my experience of it, because it was just like, it was watching the trope engine. Yeah, I mean, I got sleepy.
So
I got sleepy towards the end. The last half of the movie made me sleepy.
So I think for me it was like the first acid film I watched, because there is a long segment where it's just screaming and it's just noise, and you have those crazy sounds that are happening, and the soundtrack's actually like really
Soundtrack's pretty
great.
pretty cool.
And watching it, knowing what the kids were doing, made so much sense to me. Like just knocking on people's doors, and like if the door's open, walk in. Because I think that's a little bit of how we were raised, like with our neighbors. Just like if the door's open, like, and it's a screen door.
It's an okay, not an invitation, but like an okay to
like poke your head in. Because how else is someone's gonna hear you inside of a big house or whatever? So there's a bunch of things that they're doing that makes sense to me. But then there's there's the dumb tropes that happen, for sure. But now watching it, I find it really interesting because you're talking about like how these people, like outside the grotesque like violence that happens in those like fleeting moments, they're not particularly threatening.
Right.
And I think that comes from like watching so much true crime, because that's like the things like these people feel real in the sense that they are bumbling idiots. And
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think like they're crazy people, but they're crazy people that are rooted in like they're not crazy geniuses, and they don't have a well thought out plan, or they're not like, they are purely impulsive. And even the ones that have a plan, they're like the what's his name, Jeb or whatever, the cook, the one that runs the gas station.
Right.
He's trying to keep a family together, so he feels much more like a patriarch, like he's trying to keep people in line. So he has like a code to him that makes no goddamn sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they're not evil geniuses. These are people who are they exist. You've seen this crazy person before.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I appreciate that now that you've said it, for sure. I remember even this like weird, what I thought not a weird moment, but what I thought was a really interesting moment when when Leatherface kills the second person. Another person just kind of wanders into like the place, and there's a shot of him like actually sitting down and kind of going like this, like, oh, it happened again, how are we gonna like deal with this? Very very like Tucker and Dale almost, where it's just like they just keep coming in, I get spooked, I got a chainsaw, what am I gonna do, like, you know. But yeah, I mean, so I mean, I get all that, and yeah, Michael's saying the first slasher alongside Black Christmas out of 74. And I've seen Black Christmas. It's actually a Christmas movie that I like.
I haven't watched it
very much. Have you not seen it?
I've only seen like clips of the second one. You know, Garbage Day and all that. And I know the second one is just the first movie over again with like, it's a clip show.
Yeah.
Of a movie.
I mean, I haven't seen that one at all, but
Oh, it's totally a clip show.
That's funny.
But it has like some weird charm where like it makes you have to, it doesn't make you look at the first movie differently, because it's all the perspective of the kid of the killer. But it's like him being like turning into this crazy killer, this manic killer at the end of it.
Okay, so that's a lovely one, and I'm not really sure, because it is a Christmas movie to me. I wonder if we should actually save that for Christmas.
Oh, we saved that for Christmas.
Yeah,
yeah, it's Christmas.
I mean, that was fun to watch also, because it's I mean, it makes perfect sense that it's like a brethren to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because there's 1,000 million tropes that come out of that one as well. Yeah. Like the real like ingredients that you just like slide into horror movies that would come for the next 40 years. Yeah. So yeah.
But it's funny because when you get to that point in horror movies, when you talk about the 1970s, they are incredibly graphic, and just the things that are happening are intense, and like writing there's rape in this movie was like a draw to bring people in to watch this movie, because like, man, this is going to be an intense horror movie. Think of like Last House on the Left, where they like
that's a rape revenge movie.
Yeah. But
I don't as a rule watch rape revenge movies.
That one's a little weird one, because a lot of people mention, like, you know, it's really strange about the movies that most of the other movies at the time showed crazy people do the crime with like no remorse. That one, right after the crime's done, everyone who did the crime are like really quiet, because they're like, there's a little bit of like slight remorse that they have to like wash away, and they're even like washing themselves as they're doing it. So that became a big thing during that time, is you had these intense films where they became ultra violent, basically, like, and it makes sense for like the climate of that time, that, you know, the coming out of like Manson, coming out of like 60s serial killers that were happening. You have these movies that are just intensely violent, and they're now getting so over the top. Like, Hell Comes to Frogtown is hilarious, but there's a lot of questionable shit that happens, and it's like, that's weird. That should not be in this movie. It came when I bought that movie, it came with a double feature that was just like, oh, this is just a movie of people just like doing horrible shit. Thank you, 1970s.
So it was like a one-upping thing, like.
Oh yeah.
For a while.
Well, I mean, like, and that was actually a thing to get in reviews about how much more, like, so when Evil Dead came out, it was like such a hit. That their big thing is that someone said this was scarier than Pet Sematary.
Oh.
So they put that blasted on everything.
Ugh.
Scarier than Pet Sematary. Then when you hit the 80s, and you can see it in like the late 70s, things tone down. They're still like bloody and whatever, but you start getting into comedy. So you get Evil Dead 2.
Right.
You get Return of the Living Dead, which is hilarious.
One of my favorites.
The sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is about the family making it big in Hollywood after their story gets turned into a Hollywood movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's about them like trying to like.
So also a weird meta.
Yeah, it gets
movie.
meta. A lot of them get meta.
Interesting.
And then one of my favorites is Motel Hell, which is just like, it's a movie about a guy who kills people and eats them, but it's also very funny because he's trying to be very legitimate about being all grain, like no GMOs. It's great. So it's weird. And I think in the 90s we get a little bit of Try Hard. In the 2000s we get Try Hard, where it's like, we're not going to show the things that are upsetting. We're going to show things that are upsetting, but we're going to make them look edgy. We're going to bring them, like I remember in the early 2000s, like having serial killers or evil things tied to the colors like black and gold were always like look at album covers, like, or like Slipknot even, which is like, we look like horror creatures. Like, you look like jokes. You're not scary. You look like you're based off of things that are evil.
I think you slid like a little bit further than I could follow exactly. What do you mean black and gold?
Oh, there was this like, it was this funny thing that there's actually a serial killer who did this, who wrote a screenplay about a person in a black and gold mask, and they make tons of fun of him because he's still in prison right now. And in the 2000s he like killed like 2 people, but he was such a joke. He was trying to write a screenplay about his murders that he did, but it was always this like weird edgelord thing about making him like extra dark, like my serial killer's extra dark. He's got motives, and he's gonna write what he knows because he's gonna also write a screenplay about murdering people. Last House on the Left, I weirdly preferred the reboot version. I still haven't actually watched it because it sounds like, I don't know if I want it.
That sounds like a recommendation.
Fine.
But this one, Leatherface being loosely based off Ed Gein, was interesting for me.
So I think that's, you know, I think that I take issue with that because Ed Gein has no remorse. Ed Gein, so when I watch the movie, Leatherface has this whole thing where he's wearing so Leatherface becomes instantly kind of sympathetic because you don't know what's up with him. He is the most anxious character.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
He is freaking out at all times.
Pretty much freaking out at all times. Yeah.
And you also know that he's disfigured, so he wears someone else's face. Ed Gein got off on wearing people. And Ed Gein is more like the guy who you find on the road. So Ed Gein would go into cemeteries, dig up body parts, and take them home, and make weird effigies in his house. If he was on Etsy, he would kill. but like that's Ed Gein's thing.
Okay.
So like the guy who like smears the van with blood. That guy.
Okay, right, that guy.
Ed Gein was though like he wasn't like but he was like a weirdo who would he wore his mom's skin. He made a skin suit out of his mom. Like Psycho is based off of Ed Gein.
Okay.
But
The classic demasculated or emasculated serial killer.
Yeah.
Like that's that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But you say like is this a known fact that Leatherface was based off Ed Gein? The way that
maybe.
it was worded, I just I was curious about specifics on that.
I have it on the shelf. I have a great comic book about Ed Gein written by Harold Schechter. Harold Schechter, yeah. Anyway, so we watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre. How many stars?
Well, how many stars do I get?
You can use your own. You don't even have to use stars. Give it a rating.
What is my thing that I give for movies? I have to decide this right now and stick with it. I don't know what it is. Am I grading it? Am I leaning into that? I can do grades. What are things that I like? Mochi.
How many mochis is
How
this?
many mochis is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that work?
Yeah.
How so out of 10 mochis, because they're small, I think that I have to mochi for sure. Yeah, I would have to say that it's hard. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
God. If this was
it's
TikTok,
hard.
we would kill.
I know. I'm sorry. It's hard.
No. How many mochis?
I'm sorry.
How many
it's
mochis?
Hard. Because I want to grade it down for my own experience watching it, but it's important to recognize the effect that it had on all of media forever. Right?
No, just
Right?
go off your personal thing right now.
Okay, it's 6 out of 10.
Okay.
6 out of 10 mochi.
I give it about a 7, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Maybe
like
6.5.
supposedly the Beatles are supposed to be very important, but I can't stand listening to
I
them.
can't listen to the
So
Beatles
why
either.
I'm not gonna rate it high. I'm just gonna be like, the Beatles are a 10 out of 10 because of how they influenced everything. No, but it still sucks.
I really don't regret watching it, and that's what a 6 out of 10 normally comes down to for me. Is like I really don't regret watching it.
I'm eating so
In
many corn
spite
dogs.
of- Well, I made all of the corn dogs.
Oh my god, we gotta put some of these away. We're gonna have for breakfast.
Okay, so we did Texas Chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
That is a thing that happened. And then on Tuesday, because that was Monday, and then on Tuesday we went for cheap movie night to see Barbarian.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fabulous. I really thought, in a word, it was fabulous. Yeah.
I think my only issue with it is that it was like my problem. I liked the movie, but it was like it was almost movie by numbers. Like that's how well it was. Like I could see it being well made. Mm-hmm. Right. So I think it's good. Would I ever want to go back and watch it again? Not really.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it wasn't because it upset me. I was just like, no, like because it's good. Like I'm happy to have watched it. And that's basically where it ends. For me. It's kind of a weird one. Like I think part of it's because I've gotten so much into like weird art house horror movies. Just like,
so you're like, this is old hat. Like I don't even need to look at this right now.
But like it's also just like well crafted.
Right.
And it's like, like this feels like an old Hitchcock film in that it's like the way we're introduced to our characters and everything, and how it's almost like two movies happening at the same time where you get introduced to your first victims, you get a story with them, you are connected to them, and then you get introduced to the next victim and you have a story with them and you get connected to them. And then we have the conclusion of the movie, and we're shown the thing that I like about the movie is that it never really shows you what is the bad guy. I mean, we have one monstrous person, but the monster is not the monster.
I think
Spoilers.
I think we might be getting ahead of ourselves
Spoilers.
because we can also show the trailer
Oh yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
We can do trailer to
Trailer
explain
mode.
what this is all about. Because Texas Chainsaw, like, everyone knows that one. So, like, this is different.
Let me get this polka music. It's now getting kind of 1940s right now, so I'm going to turn that off. Boom, there we go. We're looking at Barbarian.
Barbarian was surprisingly Skarsgård, one of the Skarsgårds,
Yeah.
is in it, and it's also I don't know, like there was something about it. There was something about it. The sensibilities were not necessarily American, is I think what I wanted to say about it.
Let's go to.
Sorry.
There we go. All right, now you can hear us.
Good? All right.
Yeah. All right, now we're going to play the thing.
Yeah.
This is 476 Barbary, right?
Yeah, I'm renting this place.
No, I booked it a month ago.
Are you sure you have the right place?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
Why don't you come inside and we'll call these idiots. Why don't you just crash here?
Oh, no.
I don't know if you got a great look at this neighborhood, but I don't think you should be out there by yourself. It's dry and there's a lock on the door. By the way, I'm Keith.
Tess.
You take the bedroom and I'll sleep out here on the couch.
God. Keith? Keith!
「
but with a little practice, it can soon become a pleasurable experience. This is perfectly natural.
Yeah, that's the trailer for Barbarian. So, that's the movie we saw.
That's the movie we saw. Yeah, I was saying that I don't think that's the trailer we saw because it might have been. I just remember the trailer not revealing anything about it, and how much I appreciated not really knowing that much going in. So I don't really want to spoil too terribly much. So I mean, I think that the thing that I want to say about it is that my interest in horror movies is, a genuine interest, but it tends towards the academic.
Someone's got a huge cock. Whoa.
And especially because I'm asking my students to actually do close readings based on monsters in movies. Mm-hmm. I will go into a horror film and expect to read too much into it. What I appreciated about this experience is that the allegorical aspect of it was written all over it. It was easy enough to read, but well enough done that it wasn't preachy or weird or in your face about it.
Yeah.
And so, and I wonder, I mean, that's my experience. I expect that if you just allowed the subtext of it to sort of go over your head, that you would still have a really good time in the movie, just taking the story at face value. So yeah.
Go see this movie.
Go see the movie.
I give it 7 flarfels out of 9.
7 what?
Flarfels.
What's a flarfel?
Yep. It's an obscure rating system.
Flarfel?
Yep.
It's a flarfel.
Flarfel much?
The flarfel.
I will flarfel.
Mm-hmm.
For your ride. So.
You say 7?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The movie's good. Sounds great. All this. I think and I think one of the things is that I never felt, not saying scared, but the tension was mostly in that first half of the film for me. And then after that, it turned into, what is this film? And
right.
I think that was the thing, is
right.
that I think most of the, honestly, most of the horrific things are off screen, right?
There is an argument that can be made for that.
Yeah.
I think that there was enough pretty nice gore sequences that were satisfying enough. So yeah, I mean, but you're right. The main, it's hard not to say it. The main thing, the main big evil thing was never really shown. Yeah.
So with that said, we kind of learned the rules of how this works halfway through the film. Mm-hmm. And I think that kind of alleviates some tension. And so I think that's part of why I like the movie, but I feel like I wasn't held on for the rest of it. It's okay, then what's the tension here if we know the rules? And the rules are pretty easy. Then it turns into character piece.
Right. Which is exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it turns into character piece, and there's a lot of great moments. And I think it's super fun. It's just then it means that for me, the horror movie was cut short for a good movie.
Oh, I see what you mean. So the very distinct break in tension halfway through the film, and then sort of changing the character and kind of the focus of it was not that good for you.
I mean, it was fine. Again, the movie is still good, but it's okay, yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a solid 8.5 mochis for me. I thought it was maybe even 9. I think it was one of the
So it's one step down from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
It's see, yeah, because
See?
that's definitely.
That's
I mean,
10
like that's a
mochis.
10. That's a 10 mochi movie. Yeah, we'll stick with 8.5. We'll stick with 8.5.
Right.
I think that that's a very personal one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they made that just for me. I think they made that movie just for me. I don't know that it's for everyone.
And then we saw Well, I've seen Psycho Gorman a bunch of times. And granted, I also seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre a bunch of times. But you watched Psycho Gorman,
For the first time.
and what do you think?
That was fantastic. We found out that it wasn't the same creator as Turbo Kid.
No, it's not.
Although gigantic Turbo Kid vibes.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I was just thinking that the entire time. Like, this is the same kind of movie. Definitely not the same movie, but the same kind of movie.
So it was fun because, like, I looked it up, thinking about that, and he may have been part of production in some capacity to Turbo Kid, but he was definitely the director. Is also the lead actor in Manborg, this movie I have on DVD. That is just like bonkers. And then he does a bunch of like almost Tim and Eric sketch things, the Divorced Dad, which we watched a few episodes of. And but there's a love for practical rubber suits to the point where it goes into Power Rangers territory.
Absolutely.
So
definitely.
I remember that this movie first came up, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. And then I was listening to the last podcast I left, and Henry Zabrowski was going on about it because he was going, I always hated Power Rangers, but now I get it.
That's funny.
Because every monster is like a Gwar version of a Power Rangers monster.
That is a perfect way of
Yeah.
putting it, to the Gwar version of a Power Rangers monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love. Oh man, I think there's a lot of things that movie that I really liked, but I think that whenever they showed like the
council.
the council, yeah, the
call it the
council of creatures, like I think I liked that the most. Yeah, because of the oh man, it did have a Power Rangers vibe. Yeah, I didn't really think about it, but it definitely had this like weird Power Rangers vibe as far as costuming and like aesthetic, almost aesthetic, not really aesthetic.
No, I say aesthetic. Like if you look at like especially when you got into like later Power Rangers where the suits were getting better and better and better, like for the monsters, it's like this feels like later Power Rangers, except that now there's blood in it.
Now there's
and
a
you
lot
can kind of
of
see
blood
sinew
in
and
it.
stuff.
A lot of blood in it.
Yeah, but it also feels like a Gwar show because there's so many creatures that look like, all right, this could be plucked from Gwar.
Well, I mean, I there were a few like flashback memory like moments where I was just like, this is just a fucking like crazy metal video, like music video.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's all it is. I mean, not all it is. I'm sorry. I don't mean to like it's great. It's fantastic, but it's really just like, can I think of like the sickest, like craziest, most metal fucking shit and put it in my movie? Yeah, it's basically what that felt like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, the flavor was definitely there. I think a Gwar flavor is sort of like a good way of putting it, because I think it's the Gwar flavor is baked throughout. Yeah.
But then I think what surprised me most about watching the movie for the first time was how I was not annoyed by the child actors.
That's a big one for you.
Oh yeah, like she's fucking great.
She's great.
She
Yeah.
kills. She's super funny. She reminds me of like all right, this little girl's smart enough that she could have been on Beat Kids.
She could have been, yes, definitely. The crew for Beat Kids, absolutely. Yeah.
Mimi and Luke.
Mimi and Luke.
Yeah.
I loved their dad.
And Greg.
Greg
And Susan.
and Susan. Should we do trailer for this one
Yeah,
too?
we can
We've
do
been
a
talking
trailer.
about it for a second.
Yeah, we can do a Psycho Gorman trailer for Michael.
It's 2 words.
Oh, thank you. There we go. That's right. The director also directed The Void.
Meet the new Google
which we
Pixel
thought
7.
was kind of wild. We're thinking that's like
Well, I mean, I I thought The Void was this far away from being a good movie. It's so fucking close.
I was so...
This close.
We could talk about that in a second. Let's
Yeah.
show the trailer.
Right.
All right.
Many moons ago, a nameless evil was imprisoned in a place far beyond reach.
Hurry up!
If he were ever to be released, it would spell certain doom for all existence.
Is that fear I smell? Your planet will be torn to pieces, and I will
Mimi,
treat your
look!
angry screams as I rip.
Is this yours? Speak? Oh my god.
The gem of Paraxidike. Whoever wields it is able to command me.
Go over there and wait for us to come back in the morning.
You will suffer an eternity for this.
Mom, Dad, I want you to meet Psycho Gorman, or PG for short.
I will bathe in your blood.
Don't worry.
Be worried.
He's gonna kill everybody. Not unless I tell him to.
What did you three maniacs get up to?
This is getting a little weird.
This sick game must come to an end. She will enslave the galaxy into endless servitude. Kill him!
Cool.
The ultimate evil has awoken.
There's a new god in town, and his name? Psycho Gorman. It was nice meeting you.
It would be nicer if you were dead.
All right, bye.
There we go. That's the trailer. Yeah, we did it. Great Rex. K, thanks. What?
Great recommendations. Thank you.
I don't like that leak speak.
They are probably typing one-handed because there is a whole...
A baby who can't feed himself. Yeah, can't stand up on his own feet.
Yeah.
I lifted his weights. They were nothing.
Yeah, so Psycho Gorman is definitely like a it's funny. It's funny. And gory and fucking weird. And yeah, it's they had to find the right kid for that.
They only dropped one F-bomb in that entire movie.
Who was that?
I can't remember. I think one of the police officers.
No. Greg says what the fuck when the thing.
Oh yeah. But he says it very like,
It's like what the fuck?
what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all just frig and freak.
Frig off, freak.
Oh, so the pumping, and Kel will defeat you. Those are the takeaways.
Whatever. I'm gonna kick that baby over a fence post. It's gonna be like, I win, and the kid's gonna stand up, brush itself off. It's like, I surrender. It's like, yeah, that's right. And then he's gonna take off one testicle that's full of milk, and he's gonna squeeze it, and he's gonna be out of milk. I'm not gonna drink it. I'm not a weirdo. Yuck.
There's no
Disgusting.
milk in testicles.
Do you have testicles?
There's no milk in
Do
testicles.
you have testicles?
There's no milk in testicles.
I believe I'm sitting on a Primo set of 2 right now. And one of those bad boys is holding something. Because the other one's holding piss. P is storing the balls. What other memes can
Or
we
the
do?
ball. Well, I mean, like, it has to be singular, right? Because P is stored on one side
Oh
and
yeah.
milk is in the other.
Yeah. This bad boy, so much spaghetti in it. All right.
So, how many, like, things for Psycho Gorman?
All right. So I gave Texas Chainsaw Massacre a 7 fluffles, I think. I'm gonna give them. I'm now gonna redistribute my points. This is our time to redistribute points. I will give it 6 Fluffles, because I've seen it so many goddamn times.
Okay, we're
and then-
redistributing points. Sure. Okay.
For Barbarian, I'm also going to give it 6 Fluffles. Oh, we allow that. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Testicles got censored for a hot there.
That's
for a
so
minute.
funny.
Yeah. And then, so I'm going to give Psycho Gorman a 7 Fluffles.
7 falafels?
Yeah.
Like falafels?
Sure. The numbers one's important. I don't have a trash bin around here because I haven't seen Black Adam yet.
Oh yeah, apparently we're gonna go see Black Adam just so that
I have a-
Luke can get a new popcorn tin.
Because I have nothing to throw my garbage
There's
into.
nothing to throw his garbage into.
I'm really hoping that movie ends up being okay. Because Hawkman's a cool character, and Dr. Fate's a cool character. And the Atom's a cool character. But I feel like it's all going to be very dumb. But yeah, that's the movies we saw.
What was your number? Sorry, what was that? Was it 7 for Psycho Gorman?
6, 6, 7, yeah.
So 6, 6, 7.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I think 7 also for me. I'm an easy grader though. Yeah. It was sort of the perfect thing to put on after I got like very legitimately angry at the things that the themes that were happening in She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash. What happened to your last popcorn tin? No, okay.
All right, no,
Hang on,
okay, all
hang
right,
on, hang
right,
on.
right, right. So I have both of them. One holds onions, and the other one is potatoes. So I forget which one holds which. Yeah. This one holds this one. My Thor: Love and Thunder, that hit movie that was spectacular and well written.
Everyone loved.
Everyone loved it. Full of potatoes now. I don't know how I feel. Get that out of my sight. And then we have the Black Panther popcorn tin, and I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Oh yeah, this is our garlics and onions.
Garlic and onions. Yeah.
Is the Doctor Strange popcorn tin. It's sticky. Why is it sticky?
I think I got splashed with something. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll clean your tin.
Should I, am I going to turn into a That's Luke on Cinema guy? Just have popcorn tins all around me?
I forget what you said about it. I think that you said that when you were a kid, you wanted to have a collection of popcorn tins, or you did have a collection of popcorn tins when you were a kid?
No. I said that, not about having a collection of popcorn tins, but there's just like, I wouldn't start collecting popcorn tins, but there is one popcorn tin that I'd really like to have.
And that was the Thor popcorn tin.
No, they sell the Thor popcorn tin at Disneyland. No, that's not the one I'm talking about.
Sorry.
The one that's worth collecting is the Titanic popcorn tin.
Right.
Because Titanic was originally supposed to come out in the summer, so they started marketing it for the summer. So there was a limited run of Titanic popcorn buckets that were for free. They're the paper ones that were marked for summer, not for the winter time.
So you don't collect popcorn.
Apparently I do
buckets?
now. Apparently I do. Apparently I got popcorn tins.
Oh, when are we seeing? Okay, so we did
In November.
Okay, yeah.
That's when the movie comes
answer,
out.
Easy answer.
Jeez.
No, we saw a preview for Wakanda Forever when we were at Barbarian, and I kept saying I'm gonna cry so much during this movie. I just know that I'm gonna cry during this movie. And then Luke turned and said, "Oh well, we have to see this with Michael and Matt." So like I don't know when we're going to.
Yeah.
I think midnight seems fine.
I don't know when the movie's gonna be. I don't know if the movie's gonna be good or not. I have a
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say. Because you say that because that's true of any film.
Yeah, that's true of any film.
Why would you all of a sudden?
I also don't know if it's gonna be
why-
great. I don't know if it's gonna win awards.
Why
but it could.
would you?
So my only concerns is there's two interesting tidbits. Is that when they were making that movie, the Chadwick Boseman's family said just recast him. We don't want this character to die with Chadwick.
Yeah.
Just keep the character going. And Kevin Feige said, no, we kill the character off to respect Chadwick. It's like, okay, whatever. Fine. But like, we've had characters die and get recasted. It's not weird. This is very tragic. So I'm wondering if that will deflate anything or if that will be like an actually strong point.
Right. Okay. I see what you mean. I get it.
You know, because we had that happened with Carrie Fisher. They kept Carrie Fisher's character in the movie. They didn't kill her off, they snuck her into scenes and stuff.
Right.
So like that wasn't a linchpin of the movie or anything, but whatever.
Right. It wasn't like the main character of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Howl's here. Say hi.
Hi, Hal.
Hi, Hal.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And then there's I think thematically, yeah, it makes sense to have multiple Black Panthers. I'm fine with that. It's just whether what service are we having with killing off the character that was Black Panther?
I think that I would like
there's a lot of emotions going on that are like interesting, that are meta.
Okay, yeah. So meta. I mean, so you're speaking about like the playing with these like very real life emotions that the death of is it Boswick?
Yeah.
Okay, Boswick. I mean, who didn't like read that fucking story and absolutely have their heart torn out? Like that was So that's fair to have that particular like death sort of, maybe we're not sure, like kind of be used for cannon fodder in a film.
Yeah.
I get that hesitation for sure. I'm a lot more worried about like what was the intention of the film any intention of any of the film before that happened, and how do they have to rewrite absolutely everything afterwards?
Yeah.
Was that a beneficial? Was that like a generative sort of thing that happened, or was it? Are we going to be taking away in order to do whatever this is going to do? I guess, right?
So the other thing I have concerns about, and it's a little thing. All right. So they're taking Namor. He's the underwater guy who's not blue. You may remember in trailers some people with water air respirators basically. But then there's Namor who can live on land. He's basically evil Aquaman.
Okay.
In the comic books, he's kind of like evil neutral.
Okay.
Like he just believes the water's better, and he can in a second just destroy everybody. Okay. But he doesn't.
Okay.
Anyway. In the comic books, he... Oh, wait, am I thinking of the same character? No, never mind. I'm going to scratch that. Okay, now I only have one concern about Namor. Cool. So they're redoing Atlantis. And Atlantis is now more Mayan-based. And I was like, fuck yeah, do it. Atlantis doesn't exist, so this is fine.
Right.
Great, do it.
Yeah.
He's got his little wings on his feet. I'm only worried about the little wings on his feet. Do you see the little wings on his feet?
I didn't.
Namor has little tiny wings on his feet.
Okay.
They allow him to fly.
Okay.
Namor is a conglomeration of Roman things.
Right.
His name backward is Roman.
Right.
So he has Hermes little wings on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of weird, he's an amalgamation of all these mythos put into one. Which is fine and hunky-dory. I love that they're changing all of that because it's all dumb. But if they didn't have the little wings on his feet, there'd be a bunch of nerds that are just too upset. How do you know he's Namor then? Little wings on the feet. But it's like those allow him to fly, and I'm seeing scenes of him flying with them. It's like, how are those little things holding him up? And
Those little things.
and like I just need it to be magic. I just need to be told it's magic.
magic.
Like
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
could just be magic. That's all it needs to be. But they're there, which means he can never wear shoes. Like in no high tops. Like I'm just looking at this. Like, are people gonna nitpick this movie because he's got little wings on his feet?
Are you gonna nitpick this movie?
No,
because
I'm
it's
gonna be
got
like,
little-
oh yeah, because the character has little wings on his feet. Like, I nitpicked the original Spider-Man because he didn't have web shooters. He had this webs coming out of his arms. It's like, no. Spider-Man has web shooters. Why? Well, you. Okay, fine, I guess. But like, okay. But Namor has little wings on his feet.
And he can't wear shoes. I
And he
mean,
can't wear
Romans
shoes.
wore sandals.
Exactly.
So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited about it, but like every time we're watching the trailer, and it's like emotional, and we're like
Yeah.
it's like the new No Woman No Cry, that incredible version of
Yeah,
it, and
yeah.
we're reminded that Chadwick has passed ages, like before the pandemic he died, and it's been so long, and like this was like a big deal going to like science fiction conventions and going to like panels where it was African American writers or like just black like comic book writers or like science fiction authors or just fans saying like, no, we properly had someone on stage that was like, it was our movie, like, and then I want this movie's like, all right, like this movie has a lot of writing on it, those little fucking wings better not ruin it. If I find out like, look, this movie was fantastic. There was one distraction though. Namor's got little tiny wings
But you
on his
know
feet.
that everyone is going to find the one thing that bothered them. I mean, that's the
Yeah, I know.
awful thing about it,
I
or the
think-
great thing about it. I don't know.
I'm also like a little like mad. Like I'm a little mad at Doctor Strange. I'm a little mad at Thor.
Okay.
Because Doctor Strange was alright. And I think Pitch Meetings said it best. Multiverse of Madness and went to 3 universes. 2 universes.
Oh, they ended up sticking around in 2 universes.
Yeah. So
No, there was 3. No, there was 2.
there's 2. So Multiverse
How
of
many
Madness.
universes were there?
We go to 2 universes. We meet 4 Doctor Stranges. One we don't meet. He died off camera. Or we see Black.
Anyway.
So it's like there's a lot in that movie, and I remember talking to Dusty about it. He's like, I hated that movie. Like the coolest thing was like Professor Xavier showing up. It's like, yeah, that's really cool. It's like, for the rest of the movie, whatever. It's like, yeah, I know, but it was at least entertaining. It was fun and all that. Then we get Thor, which is like, and it's hard to tell like who's wrong in the making of that, because it's definitely like Taika Waititi was forced to make this movie, so he just did whatever he wanted. So it's like, well, then like it's still a job. Do you not know what people with jobs have to do?
Wow. Oh, the shade.
Yeah, it's something that pisses me off whenever like here Peter Jackson made The Hobbit after they said who was going to direct the movie if he didn't do it, which was a horrible director. But that's not Peter Jackson's job. It's like he could have just said, no, I don't have the energy, we wouldn't be doing it right. But he felt like he had to do it because someone else was going to do it wrong. Pisses me off. No, just let someone else do it. It's the same thing I had a problem with like when
The Matrix.
The Matrix, like
Yeah.
Wachowski didn't want to do another one, and it was great because they did a meta thing in the movie that like pointed this out very clearly. Like, oh yeah, we didn't want to make a 4th one, but it's like, all right, then let someone else do it. Like someone else can have a job. So watching this thing where you have a director who had an idea and plan that worked out great with Ragnarok, who was signed a contract saying he's going to do another film, then get given the other film, and it's like, all right, now you need to do this film. Like, it's Marvel, so we have these committee things. You have to have this storyline there. And for him to go like, nah, I'm just going to do whatever I want. And then, like, make a shitty movie. It, like, sucks. Because, like, no, like, if I do a shitty movie, if I do shit at work, I can get fired. You still get paid. Like, this pisses me off quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got hot there.
Yeah.
I got
Wow.
hot
You're
there.
a little bit heated.
A little bit heated. So, I'm really hoping that this movie's good because I've seen 2 bad Marvel movies this year.
In contrast, because I'm not a Marvel person by any stretch of the imagination, it was interesting for me because my experience going into Multiverse of Madness was like I was going there with like the people that I really really like, and that was the big thing for me. So I had a great time. I mean, like,
Oh, yeah.
like fucking like zombie Doctor Strange.
Super fun.
Was like fucking sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I actually did come out of that with only one thing, and that was like because I liked WandaVision so much, I thought that they did her dirty a little bit as far as like like actually having a nuanced character. Like, you could spend however long developing this character and have her like very visibly go through stages of grief in this like world that she set up for herself, and like have that be very complicated. But then in this movie, they're just like, but now she's evil, and because she's like a mom, and she misses her kids, and so she's like, that's how women be crazy. It's like, oh, okay, fuck you. But I mean, actually everything else about it, I was completely fine with. I wanted to go into Love and Thunder I wanted to like it so much. And so like I found myself like globbing onto scraps about it, like little bits of it, and then having to come to terms with like, no, it really just wasn't a great movie.
I think what I would say about like the Doctor Strange sequel is that it's milquetoast. It's pretty like bland, and then there's like some really fun bits in it, and then like the most egregious thing is it gets a character wrong. Like, you can tell like, all right, no, that's not how the arc. Like, this is a quick turn for an arc in this character to suddenly just be evil. We're not given the breadcrumb that leads to this. And then my biggest problem with Thor: Love and Thunder is like the only thing I can think of in that movie that I liked is that I like where it ends. It's like, this is exactly where I want Thor to be in the next movie, is a completely different character. He's all right, great. He's adopted a kid. Now he's Thor. He's a dad. He's got an adopted daughter. That sounds like a cool adventure. I cannot tell you anything else in the movie that I liked.
Yeah.
I mean, and not that there was anything I hated. Like, I thought like the whole Jane Foster thing was fine. It was great.
No,
like, it's
no,
all good,
that was something that was particularly awful to me because I thought that should have been. And I told you, like, if I wanted to see a fucking Marvel series, I want to see Jane Foster becoming Thor. Like, that's what I want to see. And there was none, zero, like fucking zilch. Moms are evil.
Oh. You've met my mom, and I hear everyone loves my mom.
Yeah, your mom is yet to reveal herself as evil. I can't think of one single... the friendship with Jane Foster and Valkyrie. It was good to have two ladies who saw each other, who saw each other and just like, yeah, what's up? Like, that was cool. I don't know. I feel so bad because I was so hot for Valkyrie in the first movie or in Ragnarok, and then like I'm just like, they really. I don't know. I felt a little bit like everyone was kind of just going through it, and
Yeah,
like,
the whole movie felt like it.
just kind of like saying the lines because those are the lines that I say and not like anything else.
Well, it felt a lot like if you had like a bunch of people who like had props, like it was like bad prop improv. It's like, all right, you're in a scene. This is where you need to go, and they're like, okay, so we will do the thing, and so we will do the thing. Let's go do the thing. It's like, what's it? The thing in the script? Is this? All right, let's throw that line in there real quick. Then that's like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean the great, and I mean now something that I like low key appreciate, I guess, like in a way that I honestly didn't before, is that like you can have a characters in a universe that you can decide with other creators to go in a direction. You can do that. These are comics. Like that's what comics do. You take another writer, you take another artist, and you like go and do whatever the fuck you want to do with those characters. So I mean, I guess that's interesting to me, and I guess it's in some ways heartening, because like you can say like, oh, this is canon, but like for how long?
But like the only thing there is that like with a comic book in a time frame, like those decisions to go off the rails, they have their own comic book for that. And then for whatever reason, but if you look at like a storyline or even several years of publishing, you have the same editor who's telling all the writers, this is what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So this was clear. This movie feels very like, the director and writer were told, you need to have these things in the movie. And they said, yeah, we'll put them right here and here. Now we get to do whatever we want. It's like, no, like you were given 2 points. Literally, you got to paint by numbers, and you decided just to instead just do whatever you want. And you think it's fine. You got paid at the end of the day. And someone else could have done a better job.
Well, I mean, I think that maybe I would like to believe that instead of saying that it was just an act of like, what would you call that? Like some kind of like contrary, just like I do what I want, like fucking like Cash Me Outside kind of bullshit, right? Like that kind of mentality. Like you gave me these 2 points and I put them in, and the rest of it's just like I fucked off. Is that there was some kind of like actual like vision there that was compromised too much because they didn't feel like they wanted to go in the same direction as those 2 points.
So that is not the case. Only because Taika Waititi's been very open, like, oh no, I didn't care what anyone thought. He's been very open with his
It's okay to not care about what anyone thinks.
But he didn't have anything for it either. I don't like what vision did he have for this besides just like we're gonna make a silly movie. So when Edgar Wright was optioned to do Ant-Man, he left because he couldn't do his thing. And so they had another director come in and do the rest of the movie. And you could tell, like, the scenes that are definitely like, oh, this is an Edgar Wright scene. This is an Edgar Wright scene. But, like, in this garbled thing that we watched, like, at what point can you say, like, this was a Taika Waititi film? Or was it just a bunch of shit thrown up on a thing? Like,
I think I don't care what people thought. Like is different than, like, I did what I had to do to get paid and also, like, put my own, like, shit in it. Is it good? I'm not saying that any of it is good. I'm wondering about the intention. I think that putting an intention that is completely like just like, well, I mean, like I kind of just don't believe that. I don't know if I have to use the restroom. Be right back.
Now it's just me. You just get me. Actually, you don't get me. We get to press the break button. Madness. All right, whatever. So I got hot. I got hot about Thor.
You got a little hot about Thor.
I get a little hot.
I mean, I got a little hot about Thor also. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously what we should be focusing on, I think.
Oh, champagne.
You want champagne?
Champagne.
Champagne. Is obviously like I think that we have to do a postmodern sort of like ripping of the page, right? And say that the intention of the author doesn't really matter at all.
Yeah, but I think that's also what probably also I think it is, in fact, makes me more upset. It's like, all right, if we don't consider the intention, then this movie is just a bad movie.
Yeah. That you wasted your time and money seeing.
Well, I saw it with friends, with lovers.
That's okay, yeah, thank you. That's why a movie is never really just a bad movie to me. Like, a bad movie is never a bad movie as long as I'm seeing it with somebody that I value the time that we spent together. Like... And in some ways, like, it's better to see a bad movie for me than it is to see a good movie. Because then I actually get the excuse to interact with someone while we're watching the movie. Because I'll just sit there and look at you and say, like, when are they going to stop talking? Like, what is this? Like, why is this happening? Tell me why.
Here it comes.
This is actually what it's like to be in the movie theater with me, too. Is me just going, like, do you think... Do you think... Do you think that they meant to make... Did they... I just have one question. Just one question. It's funny. It's funny.
Harry, please stop.
Yeah. But yeah, so being able to, like, given the freedom to just kind of, like, interact with the person that I'm seeing the movie with is cool. Like, I'd pay $12 for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1. So yeah, I don't think any movie time is necessarily time wasted unless you went on, unless you went on, like, a first date with someone and saw a movie, which I would never fucking do.
I do that all the time. That's my whole thing.
I couldn't. Because I wouldn't know if I was comfortable enough to be like, yo, did you see that guy's, that dude's, like, fucking, like, camel toe? Did you see that? Look at that. Did you see Wee Wee? Because I saw Wee Wee. Like,
for our first date, we're going to go see the Antichrist.
Oh, God. But yeah, and you're also taking a bet on the film. See, and then if you don't agree about the movie afterwards, that's, if you had a bad time in the movie and also the bad time with a person, like, that's even worse, right? Like, that's so much worse. I don't know. I could never do a first date with a movie that I hadn't seen before.
I don't talk a lot during the movies.
You don't. I just recently, like, in Barbarian, I was noticing that, like, when I turned to you after the trailer, I was like, yeah, I want to see that. You were also like, yeah, I want to see that. But, like, that was it. Yeah, I couldn't turn to you and be like, like, that's why we have to bring Michael to movies with us, because that's the other person on this side of me.
The only time I remember, like, stopping and, like, having to talk during anything was actually the last time was when we watched that episode of Rings of Power, where I was like, this stupidest thing. The stupidest thing. 3 people walking the scene not knowing what's going on. I remember that.
It was the most fun. It was so much fun. I just sat there and listened and, like, Luke completely, like, raged. Just hulked out completely. It was so much fun. It was fun. I'm sorry that... at no point did I think you were, like, genuinely, like, gonna, like, lose sleep over it. But, yeah, it was a lot of fun to see that. Yeah.
Champagne.
Champagne.
It is 10:03.
Yeah, we've been at it for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So just in here. Like,
just in here.
There was, the other situation out there. We have to figure that out. We're gonna figure that
I
out.
think we just need to get a proper laptop.
That'll be our thing that we do.
Do you like the Paisleys?
I like Paisleys. It's good. It's classy.
Classy.
It's classy, you know. What else we got on the bullets? We do everything?
Oh, yeah, the bullets.
I think we just did film review, which is a healthy chunk.
The only thing we had left was filler, but we didn't need to use the filler.
Oh, we didn't need to use the filler. All right. So this is
I think this is comfortably a place to...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
So what do we tell everybody?
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Yeah. We're pumpkining too. This is the definite moment. So thank you very, very, very much for hanging out with us this evening during Friday Critical Mass. We're probably gonna do this again next week unless one of us has a date.
That it's just me playing video games.
No, I'll jump on here too and just like hold the stream while you're gone on your date. So
That's what, we're gonna meet somebody in the middle of the pumpkin. Though we did almost meet someone at a Michael's.
we did almost meet someone at a Michael's.
Yeah.
She overheard us. Sorry, putting gender on. No, putting gender on.
Yeah,
They overheard us talking about being swingers because all of the like skeleton stuff was clear like swinger like paraphernalia, and they started a conversation with us anyway about how it was the only time that they could like get actual stuff for their house was like going through Michael's during Halloween time, and neither of us pursued any of that. And I do think about that sometimes. So we could meet someone at the corn maze.
Yeah. There's potential. Here, I'm gonna bring up the raid options, see who can send all our viewers to.
Yeah, we gotta send viewers places.
It's how we connect. Let's see.
So yeah, thanks again, y'alls.
It means a lot to have you all here. I don't know how to do this now. You should just be able to put.
I don't know how to do it. I didn't know how to
raid.
do it in the first place. So, good night, Michael. Good night, Cal. Good night, Howl.
Yeah, let's just say good night.
Yeah.
Good night. Thank you for being here with us, and we'll see you next time.